Hello folks, back again with another Wip Wednesday, taking a look at what's on the workbench here. Despite the pile in front of me, it is deceptively little work here that we're going to be doing this week. So I have two things already in progress, or two batches already in progress. So we have these landers here, these 6mm dropships that I started work on last week, green stuffing up gaps. It was my first experience filling gaps with green stuff. It was definitely a learning experience. And I'm painting these up for the brown force that I've shown a number of 6mm figures for. This miniature here being from the Bradley line, and this being an old Ground Zero Games Dirt Side figure. The Bradley one is an armed lander, large cannon on top, and then two sets of smaller guns on these front wings here. Whereas the old the Ground Zero Games one here is more of a civilian unarmed lander. So I'm almost done with the base coats on these, and then of course a wash and a dry brush, and they will be ready for action. And then I also have 10 more on the workbench of these Rebel Miniatures Earth Force Home Guard. Including these, I have about 25 left to do to finish up the unpainted miniatures that I found. These guys are about halfway done with their base coat. I just need to paint flesh tones, pouches, weapons, and then they're ready for a wash. So these ones in front of me here are a number of NCOs, which I was missing, of course. Some heavy weapons. These particular ones are the snipers. And it looks like that's it. No riflemen, just all of the snipers and the rest of my NCOs. And then another Rebel Miniatures product that I'm working on is a whole bunch of these 15mm Jersey barriers. Now these guys are pretty simple. I just primed them gray with an auto primer, Rust-Oleum self-etching auto primer. They're going to get a couple of dry brushes and a wash and be done. Now, not only do I have a whole bunch primed up here, but then I also, just today, found 2 more bags of these Jersey barriers. So I'm never going to need more Jersey barriers. These are going to fill the boards. So those are 15mm. And then I have some Anyscale Model picnic tables. I got these when I was filling out an order. These were pretty cheap. I want to say they were 2 for a pound or 2 for 2 pounds or something like that. They were cheap enough that I picked up 6 of them. They're simple little casts, 2 legs, 2 benches, and on the tabletop I had to use hot glue in order to help these guys stand up while assembling them, because there are no slots for anything to go into. But it's not rocket science. So those are also going to get a quick prime with a brown, and then a wash, and then a couple of dry brushes, and then they're going to be done too. And then I received this week 2 packages from Demonscape Games. They took over production of the 25mm Ground Zero Games line. So these guys are going to be used with my 25mm Ground Zero Games figures for gaming Tomorrow's War, using both Tomorrow's War and then 5150 Star Army from 2 Hour War Games. So these are the 2 that I have on the workbench right now. Is this heavy blower tank, very Hammer Slammers-esque, this Phalanx APC. Now these guys are very large, very substantial. This is a 25 millimeter Ground Zero Games figure. So these are huge. I love them. They fit right in scale with the old Crow models. I was afraid that these were not going to be in the same general scale, but they are. The Claymore, the large APC that Old Crow makes, is just about the size of this Phalanx APC here. I think it's just a fraction longer and a little bit shorter, not counting whatever turret you put on the Old Crow one. So these I'm just prepping. These are not going to be painted this week. I'm just doing some assembly. I want to get used to working with this resin and then green stuffing. This round of green stuffing is going a lot better than the first one. I learned some lessons, but there are definitely gaps that need to be filled in all of these. They are substantial. Magnetizing turrets, etc. But that's what's on the workbench. These guys are just getting some prep work. I might get to them next week. And then 2 easy batches of just dry brushing and washing, some really basic terrain, and then finishing up some already started minis. So it's going to be a nice slow week for painting, and then I'm hoping to get in a couple of solo games this week because I have not played an actual miniatures game in too long. So thank you for tuning in again for this Work in Progress Wednesday, and we'll see how well this goes and then post up to my blog on Monday for the progress. Thank you again.